Hello, everyone. It's Brother Randy with SourMilk Ministries. Welcome to the Rooftop Cafe.
Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
Now, whether or not Dorothy and Toto ever actually left Kansas is debatable. I'm sure many of us grew up watching this iconic film from the late 1930s. I know it was a favorite of mine, although I highly doubt that I would watch it today, because I know that the Most High God does not like witchcraft and sorcery, even if Hollywood sugarcoats it. Nonetheless, I don't know about Dorothy leaving Kansas, but I have no reason to suspect that Peter actually left the rooftop in Joppa when he received his infamous vision that's recorded in Acts 10. Now, I said infamous because, unfortunately, the mainstream church cites Peter's vision as one of its primary proof texts that it's now okay for us to eat unclean things. That's simply not true. Nothing could be further from the truth. That is a gross misinterpretation of Peter's vision. Be that as it may, I'm not here to talk about the mainstream church's misinterpretation of Peter's vision. No, on the contrary, I'm here to talk about the Torah Community's misinterpretation of Peter's vision. In fact, let's just cut to the chase here. This is the heart of the matter. When we're asked, if God didn't want me to eat unclean things, then how come he told Peter to do it in Acts 10? What's the typical response to that question? God was only speaking symbolically when he told Peter to eat unclean things. You see, if you keep reading further in the chapter, you'll discover that the vision was really all about Gentiles. Now, that's true. The vision is about Gentiles. But do you want to know what's not true? That God instructed Peter to eat unclean things. It never happened. And I do mean never. It never happened in a literal sense, and it never happened in a symbolic sense. But nevertheless, we concede that it did. We're conceding the very foundation of the mainstream church's argument that God told Peter to eat unclean things, albeit symbolically. We're giving them ground that we don't need to give them. Because again, it simply did not happen. We are reading that into the text. The Most High never told Peter to eat anything unclean. Never. Let's go see that for ourselves. Acts chapter 10, verses 9 through 17, New King James Version. The next day, as they went on their journey and drew near the city, Peter went up on the housetop to pray about the 6th hour. Then he became very hungry and wanted to eat. But while they made ready, he fell into a trance and saw heaven opened and an object like a great sheet bound at the four corners descending to him and let down to the earth. In it were all kinds of four-footed animals of the earth, wild beasts, creeping things, and birds of the air. And a voice came to him, "Rise, Peter, kill and eat." But Peter said, "Not so, Lord, for I have never eaten anything common or unclean." And a voice spoke to him again the second time, "What God has cleansed, you must not call common." This was done 3 times, and the object was taken up into heaven again. Now while Peter wondered within himself what this vision which he had seen meant, behold, the men who had been sent from Cornelius had made inquiry for Simon's house and stood before the gate. Now, once again, the problem here is that we are reading into the text, although it's a very easy thing to do. "Rise, Peter, kill and eat." "Not so, Lord, for I've never eaten anything common or unclean." Yeah, it certainly looks like the Most High God is telling Peter to eat everything in the sheet. I mean, it's plain as day, right? Wrong. Why do we assume when the Most High says, "Rise, Peter, kill and eat," that Peter would even consider eating anything unclean? Does Peter eat unclean things? Not at all. That's the reality of the situation. You don't think the Most High God knows that? Let me tell you what else the Most High God knows. He knows that in addition to Peter obviously not eating the unclean things, he knows that Peter is not going to even eat the clean animals that he considers to be common. This is what it's all about. Common. And if you don't know the difference between common and unclean, you are going to be lost. Common, what is that? Clean, that has been profaned. Clean food, which the Most High God made for you to receive with thanksgiving, profaned. "No, Lord, for I have never eaten anything common or unclean." Now, unfortunately, we don't readily recognize what Peter's saying here. We're under this erroneous idea that Peter's saying, "Oh no, don't make me eat unclean things." That's not what he's saying at all. No, he's saying, in addition to not eating the unclean foods, which is a given, I won't even eat the clean food if it's even close to something unclean. I'm that holy. You told me to be holy? Guess what? Not only do I not eat the unclean, but I don't eat the common. Peter refused to eat the clean food simply because of its close association with the unclean. The entire purpose of the unclean animals in that sheet was so Peter would object. And what did God say? This is not my opinion that this is all about the common. The scriptures literally tell us the issue. Common. That's what we're talking about here. Remember Peter's wondering here in verse 17? Of course, what do we say? Oh, well, see, he was perplexed. He was wondering why God's telling him to eat all these unclean things. Sorry, that does not fit. Peter's already been told, don't call what I've made clean common. So if Peter's pondering anything, it's, well, gee, does the Most High God want me to eat common food? He might be finding it, no pun intended, hard to swallow that God is telling him to eat the clean animals that he considers to be common. Don't you call what I've made clean common. Knock on the door. There's 3 unclean Gentiles. But guess what? The Most High has shown me that I'm not supposed to call any man unclean or common. I'm not supposed to call you Gentiles unclean, and I'm not supposed to call my Jewish brothers common because they're hanging out with you. Remember in the next chapter, what do we see? We see people getting upset.
You even went with Gentiles and ate with them. Were they calling Peter common? Yes, they were. Now, let's go back to that menu. The sheet is nothing more than a menu. It's the options that are available for Peter to eat.
We could change Acts 10:13 to read, "Rise, Peter, go to the rooftop cafe and eat." Now, do you really suspect that Peter's going to walk into the rooftop cafe and eat every single item on the menu? Sorry, that sort of thing only happens in cartoons. Peter was hungry. He needed to satisfy his appetite. He wanted lunch. He didn't need to eat a sheet full of animals. Again, they were just options. We know Peter isn't going to walk into the rooftop cafe and order some fried mouse tails any more than he's going to order a turkey buzzard on bun. That's not going to happen. But there's that roast beef sandwich. Okay, and we've got some chicken salad over here. But even so, Peter will not eat those things. They are common to him. They have been profaned for no other reason than their association, their proximity to these unclean things. Just like the Gentiles. Can't be around a Gentile. Gentiles are unclean. If I'm around a Gentile, I will be profaned. And God said, cut it out, Peter. Stop calling the things I make clean profane. With that, let me end this by saying that I hope that my brothers and sisters within the Torah community will also cut it out and stop conceding that the Most High God told Peter to eat unclean things, even symbolically, because it never happened.